Well, it's a Thursday afternoon in Arlington, Texas, so why not take a day off from school and head on down to the ballpark, maybe get a few signatures on a baseball. Jeremy Hellickson happy to oblige these two young men. Vince Velasquez also signing for the crowd here in Texas, but it's time for baseball now. It's the Philadelphia Phillies and the Texas Rangers. And nowadays, things in the AL West, well, they have to go through the heart of Texas. The Rangers, red hot. They've won 8 in a row, one game over 500. And the Astros, what are they doing? Well, how about just having the best season so far, 29 wins and the best record in all of baseball. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Phillies Baseball alongside Ben Davis. I'm Greg Murphy in for Tom McCarthy this afternoon. Yeah, things are going well in Texas. Not so well for the team from Philadelphia. The Phillies continue to struggle in the month of May, and they came down to Texas, Ben, looking for some answers. They haven't found any of yet.
No, they haven't, and unfortunately for the Phillies, they've run into a scorching hot Texas Rangers ball club. Yes, the starting pitching for the Phillies hasn't been too good. The bullpen hasn't been too good, but the offense has just been really inconsistent throughout the course of the season. We've seen them score a lot of runs. We've seen them be good with runners in scoring position, but it's just not like that recently for this offense. They need to be a little bit more consistent.
Well, they're going to take on this guy today, Martine Perez, the left-hander who has been up and down so far this season for Texas. And they'll look to get something going against him.
Well, hopefully they can. He's a power pitcher. He sits in the mid-90s with that fastball, but everything's hard. The fastball's hard, the curveball, slider, and the changeup are still in the mid-80s. So hopefully the Phillies can pick something out and get some good swings at him today.
All right, meanwhile, the Rangers offense, they have been red hot, as we have talked about, and that's with losing a guy like Carlos Gomez a few days ago. He is headed to the DL, so what do? They bring someone up named Jared Hoying to play a little center field, and all he does last night, well, he goes 4 for 4, almost the cycle, just a triple shy.
Yeah, just a triple shy, but he's a 28-year-old guy. He hits his first big league home run last night. It's not the prettiest swing, but he got it done last night. They said they really like his defense, the Rangers do, but the offense, they really didn't know what they were going to get. Well, last night they saw a little bit of glimpse of what he can do. He's really an out and around the baseball. He likes to use the right side of the field. Even his last hit of the evening last night, he tries to get out and around it. It's just fortunately he catches it late and hits it up the middle, but it's not the prettiest swing, but it worked last night.
Well, he raised his batting average about 500 points last night in just his second game this year in 2017. They'll look to shut him down and the rest of this Rangers offense this afternoon. As we mentioned, Martine Perez will take the ball for the Rangers. On the other side, it'll be Nick Pivetta starting for the Phils, looking for that first win of the season. He's been good. He'll try to play the stopper today. Lineups and first pitch when we come back. Phillies Baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Toyota. Find your favorite model today. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, the official bank of the Phillies. Visit citizensbank.com. By Coca-Cola, taste the feeling. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at ibx.com. Arlington, Texas, about 88 degrees and climbing here in the middle of the afternoon. A breezy day as well. A couple minutes ago, going over the ground rules, lineup cards being exchanged. Cameron Ruck taking the duties for the Phillies today, the Texas native, getting the ground rules, and then a handshake from his manager Pete Mackanin afterwards. And we are just about set to go. Playing some baseball in the afternoon in Texas. And today's lineup is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you watch TV. Cesar Hernandez leads off and plays second base, followed by Odubel Herrera playing center field. Aaron Altherr will play left field and bat third, followed by Tommy Joseph, Andres Blanco getting the start at third, and Michael Saunders batting sixth and playing right field. Michael Bronco batting seventh today. He is your designated hitter. Andrew Knapp is doing the catching and batting eighth, and Freddie Galvis will play shortstop and bat 9 this afternoon, and they will be facing this guy, the left-hander Martine Perez, making his 9th start of the season. He is 1-5 with the ERA, just 3.89, 21 walks and 28 strikeouts in his 44 innings of work. And as we have talked about, the Rangers are red hot. They enter today's game. They've won 8 in a row, 7-0 on this homestand. And they're trying to do something they've only done one other time in history, and that is win a homestand 7+ games or more and go undefeated. They did that back in 2005.
Yeah, Martine Perez will sit about 94 with that fastball, change curve slider, but everything is hard. 2.92 ERA in May, just not getting a whole lot of run support.
Well, the Phils will hope that it stays that way this afternoon. As Cesar Hernandez steps into the box, heading from the right side, he takes that first pitch over for a strike. And we are underway. Hernandez batting .307 on the season. He hits that one down the right field line and hooking foul. So quickly 0-2 to Cesar Hernandez. Once again, the winds are whipping here at Globe Life Park. The flags are blowing straight in, but that oftentimes means that it's blowing out down on the field towards right field. Whereas from the windup, the 0-2 pitch is high. It's 1-2.
You see that good firm fastball. He likes to work the inside corner to righties and then back foot his breaking ball, whether that be with the curveball or the slider. Might see it here.
And it's fouled back right past Odubel Herrera, who's in the on-deck circle. And it remains 1-2 to Cesar Hernandez. 307, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. Collected a couple of hits in this series. The Phils offense has been rather stagnant throughout. That one sails outside for a ball. It's 2-2. Two pitch popped up on the right side. Ryan Rua, the first baseman, over there by the wall, and he makes the catch. So 1 out here in the top of the first, and that brings us to our Nissan keys to the game.
As a whole, Phillies, they all need to be accountable. Be accountable for what's been going on recently. They need to take it personally and hopefully win a ball game today. And Nick Pivetta, pitch in and then pitch in some more. I'd like to see him really concentrate on pounding inside corner, both righties and lefties, with a good firm fastball. Some of these hitters out from diving over the plate.
Well, we'll see if they can be accountable today. It has been a struggle on the road. Just one win on the road trip so far for the Phils as Odubel Herrera steps in. He swings through that first pitch. It's 0-1. Every baseball team will go through stretches where they struggle on both sides of the baseball, but it is how you react to that. It kind of separates you from the pack if you're a good team or a subpar team. Phillies certainly are struggling right now in the month of May. Perez working from the windup. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on, popped up, and it'll come back and out of play. So 1-2 now to Herrera. He didn't know where that was.
No idea. He hadn't a clue.
He's got the sunglasses on, does Herrera. It is a bright day, a little hazy, humid day. As you see the current conditions. 17-mile-per-hour winds blowing in from right field. Already 90 degrees, was 88 at first pitch. It's crept up to 90 now. Probably get a little bit higher before the day is done. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. We got it. So the first strikeout on the afternoon for Perez. And that'll bring up Aaron Altair. Well, it is a day game, so when you skip school, or in this case, he's not skipping school, he's on a field trip. Oh, wait. No, Ranger baseball is important. Importanter.
You
Yes,
forgot the more on that.
Yeah.
It's more importanter.
And now he's just out sick. This kid's got it all covered. Well, now the folks in Philly know that perhaps he's telling a tall tale. Aaron Altair steps in, takes that first pitch over the outside corner for a strike. It's always fun to take a day off from school and catch a ball game.
Only if you're allowed, Greg.
I know, Ben. You are a rules follower.
That's right.
Perez has his sign, the 1-1 pitch. And that is a base hit in the left field. So Aaron Altair is a 2-out base runner here in the top of the first inning. He continues to hit, which is certainly a good sign.
Nice fluid swing there by Aaron. And again, he continues not to overswing despite having a lot of success early in the season. Tommy Joseph, same thing. Been very hot here in the month of May. I don't see him overswinging either. So hopefully that can continue.
Yeah, batting almost 400 in the month of May for Tommy Joseph. Had a couple of hits last night as well as Aaron Altair takes his lead off first. And the first pitch to Joseph is over for a strike. It's 0-1. He's raised his batting average 105 points over the last 20 games. He creeps closer to 300. And 1 pitch, snap throw down to first, and Altair is able to get back. We saw Robinson Chirinos do that a couple of times in game 1 here in Arlington. Likes to throw the ball a bit. So Altair takes his lead off of first. The count is 0-2 to Tommy Joseph. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he got him. Joseph slams the helmet down in frustration as he chased that one a little bit low in the zone. And that'll do it for the top of the first. Phils do get a hit. They leave one on first, but no runs to show for it. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Rangers come to bat for the first time. Jeff Bannister sending this lineup out there to face the Phils today. Leading off as the designated hitter is Shin-Soo Choo, followed by Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, and the right fielder Nomar Mazara. Robinson Chirinos will do the catching. He'll bat fourth. Rougned Odor batting fifth and playing second base. First baseman today, Ryan Rua. Third baseman, Joey Gallo, batting seventh, followed by Jared Hoying, the center fielder, batting eighth. And batting ninth and playing left field is Delano Shields, and they will face The big right-hander for the Phillies, Nick Pivetta, ERA of 6.14 and the record 0-2. He has shown flashes. He's been pretty good, and then he's shown some other times where he has really struggled and had to battle out of some jams. There you see 5 walks, though, with 16 strikeouts. He has good stuff, just hasn't always been able to use it effectively at the big league level so far, man.
Yeah, the stuff definitely is there. He'll sit about 94, 95 miles per hour. Change curve slider. Really, the slider is secondary out pitch, but you need to get the 19.4 pitches per inning down.
He faces Chu, and Chu sends that one down the left field line and out of play. So it's 1-1 to Shin-Soo Choo, who had 3 hits in last night's ball game. .260 on the season with 4 home runs, 17 RBIs. Takes that one upstairs for a ball. It's 2-1. Fouled straight back. 2-2 now to Shin-Soo Choo. Today's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. Pivetta working with Andrew Knapp this afternoon behind the plate. He has his sign. The 2-2 pitch. And a called third strike on the outside corner. So 1 up, 1 down, and 1 strikeout for Nick Pivetta. That's the first out here in the bottom of the first.
Good start. Your GMC pitch cast brought to you by your local Tri-State GMC dealer.
Just on the edge of the zone right there, but he gets the call from the home plate umpire, Mark Rippinger. So 1 out here in the bottom of the first. That'll bring up Elvis Andrus, batting .285. He's been good this month as well. .302 in the month of May. The first pitch is over for a strike. Pops that one down the right field line and out of play. 0-2 to Elvis Andrus. Andrus, a couple of hits last night. The entire Rangers lineup did the damage last night. Every starter but one, Mike Napoli, with a hit last night. Many of them with multiple hits. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's cue shot down the first base line. It's foul, so they'll do it again. 0-2. You see Zach Eflin went 4 innings last night and allowed those 7 runs. 11 hits in those 4 innings. It wasn't as sharp as we are used to seeing from Zach Eflin.
No, he wasn't, but you would never know it from his body language.
The 2 pitch popped up in the infield. Tommy Joseph in front of first base makes the call and the catch. 2 outs.
Now this is an 0-2 pitch that you love to see. Nice breaking ball there by Nick. We talked about the woes that the Phillies pitchers have had with an 0-2 count. Take a look where this pitch is. That down in the zone. And the velocity is really what got Andrus out there. Pulled the string on him, got him way out in front, flailed at it just with his hands.
Yeah, the numbers for Phillies pitchers with the count 0-2. We talked about it last night. Not good. A good pitch right there by Pivetta. That brings up Nomar Mazara. He had 2 hits last night as well, batting .259 on the season. 2 outs, bottom of the first. 1-0 pitch is just a bit outside for a ball. 2-0.
That's a ball, but I like what Andrew Knapp did right there. He held the ball. He gave Mark Rippinger a good look at it. He didn't let that ball ride him back. He held it right out in front, stuck it. He didn't try and bring it back. I think sometimes you'll lose a call if you try and bring it back. You just hold it there.
That one finds the strike zone. So 2-1 now to Mazara. Mazara homered in the first game versus the Phillies in the first inning. Herrera hits last night as well. little bit low, and it's 3-1 now to Mazzara.
I know it sounds funny, but that's the first thing I look at when I look at a catcher. Can he catch? Like literally, can he hold a ball there? Can he present it to the umpire? Does he have strong hands? Can he actually catch it and make it look good?
That one is poked out in the left field, and it's going to go into the gap and all the way back to the wall. So Mazzara will cruise into second. And it's a double for Nomar Mazzara with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
That's a pretty stroke right there.
He just reached out at the end of the bat, but got enough of it to find the gap.
Well, sometimes young guys, young kids get a 3-1 count. They're thinking, oh, I'm going to get a meatball here. I'm going to hit it in the second deck. Not the case. That's a good pitch there by Nick Pivetta. And he goes down and hits in that left center field gap. Good piece of hitting by Nomar Mazzara.
So Mazzara's at second, and that'll bring up Robinson Chirinos, the catcher, batting .268 so far this season with 5 home runs. Caught game 1 of the series. First pitch to Chirinos is outside and low for a ball. It's 1-0.
You're Chirinos, you're thinking, man, this is great. I got a runner in scoring position, and I don't have to put my shin guards back on, go back and catch the inning, and then come back out the next inning and lead off. Little things I think about for my catchers there, Murph.
You guys work so hard. 1-0 pitch. Outside for a ball. 2-0. Pivetta got the first 2 batters in the Rangers lineup relatively easily. Then the double by Mazzara, working against Chirinos. 2-0 pitch upstairs for a ball. It's 3-0. And this is what we've seen out of Nick Pivetta early so far in his major league career. I mentioned Mark Rippinger behind the plate. Phil Cuzzi over there at first. Vic Carapazza is at second, and the crew chief Tom Hallion at third today. 3-0 pitch. That's over for a strike. That flashes the signs from the stretch. 3-1 pitch. Popped up and out of play. 3-2 now. The count is full to Chirinos.
Talking about Nick's 19.4 pitches per inning. Here he is at 19 pitches again. He's about to throw his 20th. Hopefully that's all he takes is 20 pitches this inning.
That is a line shot, but right into the glove of Andres Blanco, getting the start down there at third today. So 20 pitches is what it took to get through the bottom of the first inning. No damage done by the Rangers. We'll head to the top of the second. No score. Giants at 1:35. Come on out to the ballpark. Maikel Franco batting gloves for kids 14 and under, courtesy of Tasty Cake. Visit Phillies.com for more information and to order your tickets. Love the batting gloves.
Guantillas.
Batting gloves?
Batting gloves.
There you go. Gee, how did I know?
Guante is glove.
Okay.
Guantillas are smaller gloves. There you go.
Right. All right. Well, Andres Blanco will step in to face Martine Perez. It'll be Blanco, Saunders, and Franco this inning. First pitch to Blanco was outside for a ball. Blanco getting the start today over at third base, batting .222, and he grounds that one down towards third, but foul. So 1-1 now to Andres Blanco.
Perez threw a pitch to Tommy Joseph 0-1. He started Tommy off with a breaking ball. Then he threw a 0-1 fastball up and in, which was called for a strike. I think it was a strike. If he works both sides, he's going to be tough to hit.
Another foul ball off the bat of Blanco. 1-2 now to him.
Because he can fade that changeup away after speeding your bat up inside. He can fade that changeup away. He can backdoor his slider, and obviously front door or back foot, I mean, that breaking ball.
Working from the windup. The 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, says Rippinger. And Andres Blanco is a strikeout victim. Second straight strikeout for Perez. Third on the afternoon. There's one down here in the top of the second.
Goes that back foot breaking ball again. And that's twice I've seen Chirinos give that sign. He puts the 2 down. Andres definitely goes on that. He puts the 2 down and points out in front of the plate, meaning bounce it. I got your back. Go ahead and bounce it. Did the same thing to Tommy when Tommy struck out.
So that'll bring up Michael Saunders. And that first pitch into Saunders is inside for a ball, no swing, says Tom Hallion. 1-0 to Saunders. A 2-run home run last night. Swinging a decent bat of late. 4 for 11 in his last 3 games. He swings through that one. It's 1-1. Cued at the plate. Foul ball. It's 1-2 now to Michael Saunders. Saunders, one of 2 left-handers in Pete McCannon's lineup today, facing the lefty Perez. Odubel Herrera being the other. 1-2 pitch. Line shot into right center field, and that one's going to get down, and it's going to get all the way to the fence. Saunders rounds first, and he'll cruise into second. Now he's thinking 3. Here comes the relay throw into third. Safe at third base is Michael Saunders, and the ball skips away, but he'll stay right there. So Saunders with a triple. 1 out here in the top of the second. Nice piece of base running as well. He started to slow down in second, then he saw they were just getting to the baseball, and he picked it up, legged his way to third.
Ball gets in the gap in a hurry. Didn't seem like Mazar was really in a hurry to get there. You see number 30 Mazar. Michael Saunders kicks it into gear. He says, you know what, I think I can make this. I only got the 1 out. Let's see if I can get on to third base.
He gets around those bases quickly, but he makes it look very easy, doesn't it?
The more I see him run, he just gets from point A to point B in a heartbeat.
So Maikel Franco will be the batter with the infield drawn in here in the top of the second. First pitch to Franco. It's outside for a ball. Franco, the designated hitter this afternoon, and batting in the 7th spot. That's the lowest spot that he has batted in the batting order since his rookie season, as he continues to try and find his way, batting just .213 on the season. 1-0 pitch. Fouled out of play. It's 1-1.
Having lunch with Matt Stairs the other day, we were talking about different players, and he said, you know what, Maikel came to me the other day and he said, Matt, I feel embarrassed right now. He said, I know it doesn't show. He said, but I'm embarrassed the way I'm hitting right now. He said, I have to change because it's killing me inside. So hopefully Maikel can make those changes, and it's nice to hear a young kid say that he's embarrassed, because you should be when you're not performing well.
Pops that one down the right field line and out of play as well. 1-2 to Franco. Yeah, it is good to hear that.
Yeah.
And you know, we get to know the players, obviously, being around these guys. And you know, Maikel Franco is one of those guys that works very hard.
Yes,
he does. He's consistently working and working hard. But making adjustments at this level is difficult sometimes for some guys. That's what he is working on now.
And it's hard at this level because everything is so fast. Everything happens so fast.
1-2 pitch. That is swung on. Hit deep to center field. Going back on it is swing at the track, at the wall, and he reaches up, makes the catch, but Michael Saunders will cruise in and step on home plate for the first run of the afternoon. So Maikel Franco gets the job done. He hit it well to center field, and it is 1-0 Phillies.
Why doesn't that feel good?
I think that probably feels all right.
Well, it could have felt really good if it went a couple more feet. Nice play by Hoyne. Tries to get it in on Maikel. He does not get it in, but see that extension? That's through the baseball. I know it's a little critical of Maikel last night, but that's a different approach. That's through the baseball, not out, around, and off the baseball. That's the approach you love to see right there.
It really was a nice, easy swing.
Yes, it was.
And it did travel. So let it bring up Andrew Knapp. Takes that first pitch a little bit high and outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Well, Phils have their first lead of the series. It's 1-0 here in the top of the second. That feels good to have the lead.
That it does, but I just wish it were 2-0. That's all.
All right. And he's not over yet. Over for a strike. It's 2-1 to Andrew Knapp.
I guess the wind is blowing in from right field because there's no doubt in my mind at this ballpark that's up on that berm in center field all day long.
Well, the flags are certainly blowing in. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to the left side. Andrews has it. Fires over to first for the final out. But not before the Phils are able to get a run on the board. Michael Saunders triple and the sac fly by Maikel Franco made it 1-0. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Get in front of the TV, no problem. Always stay connected to your team with the NBC Sports app. Download it now and live stream every CSN Phillies game on the go. You do that when you're at home and John Kruk is here in the booth?
I definitely don't do it at the kids' games, that's for sure.
No, your focus is 100%. I know. Some Phillies fans, lots of Phillies fans actually at the ballpark over the last couple of days. Got a Pete Rose jersey? Couldn't see the first number.
I couldn't see it either.
I'm guessing Pete Rose.
There's a Joel Embiid jersey right in front of us.
There is. He's lost about 1.5 feet. Well, leading off here in the bottom of the second for Texas, Rougned Odor. Just one hit for Odor last night. He takes that first pitch a little bit high for a ball. It's 1-0. It'll be Odor, Rua, and Gallo facing Pivetta here in the second. Hit upstairs for a ball, 2-0. Now back. 2-1 now to Odor, who has struggled most of this season, batting just .200. He does have 6 home runs, 18 RBIs, but it's been a struggle for most of the season for him, as it has been for a couple of these guys in the Rangers lineup. It hasn't been until late that they've really started to put it all together. 2-1 pitch. High and inside for a ball. 3-1. Think he's getting squeezed a little bit?
No, I'm wondering why throwing 2-1 breaking balls in the second inning.
Big swing and a miss, so it's 3-2 now. Full count to Odor. Last thing you want to do is issue a leadoff walk in the half inning after your team gives you the lead. Pivetta has his sign from Andrew Knapp. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Popped up left side. Only one infielder on that side. It's Andres Blanco. He had a long way to go, but he slides and makes the catch. He had to come from the shortstop position because the Phillies were in a shift to the right side of the infield, but Blanco got a good first step and was able to make the play. So nice play by Andres Blanco. And that's the first out of the inning.
And where he had to go to, boy, that is an excellent catch, because there's not a ton of foul territory here at Globe Life Park, but you see the distance. I mean, he started way over here. He's got to get all the way over here to make the play. That is an excellent play by Andres Blanco.
Helping out his pitcher on that as well. So the first out of the inning is recorded, and that'll bring up Ryan Rua. First pitch to Rua. Line drive to center field. Odubel Herrera won't get to it. It'll fall in for a base hit. The second hit of the afternoon for the Rangers, and Rua is a one-out base runner. Wasn't hit very hard, and Odubel Herrera, even though he closed pretty well on that, didn't have much of a chance to catch that one. That'll bring up Joey Gallo, batting 191. Phils have done a pretty good job against Gallo in this series, I say, as I'm knocking on wood. First pitch to Gallo was over for a strike. The shift on once again for the left-handed hitting Gallo. Rua takes his lead off first. Quick throw over, and he's back easily. In the dirt, nice play by Andrew Knapp, keeping that in front of him. And it's 1-1 now to Joey Gallo. Gallo has hit 12 home runs this season. He does strike out an awful lot as well. Well, 2-1 now to Gallo. Another throw over. Rua is back.
You know, Mark, we can speculate a little bit in the fact that this might be Nick Pivetta's last start for right now, with the return of Aaron Nola. I'd like to think that he'd like to leave a lasting impression in the minds of the coaches.
As Gallo swings through that one. It's 2-2 now to Joey Gallo. Yeah, you know, Aaron Nola will pitch on Sunday. Final game in Pittsburgh, the final game of this road trip. And you would think that Pivetta might be the guy that they'll send back down to continue to start in the Lehigh Valley. 2-2 pitch, high and outside for a ball, 3-2. Certainly he'd like to get a win before he heads down. Finish on a high note, as you said.
I look for Nick to have a good outing today. I look for him to have a good outing every time because of the stuff that he has. Be different if he was going out there without a loaded gun. He's got the bullets.
Runners going on the 3-2 pitch. The throw down to second is out. So strike him out, throw him out, double play. A called third strike on Gallo, and a great throw by Andrew Knapp gets the runner Rua at second base. And just like that, Nick Pivetta's out of the inning. We'll head to the top of the third. The Phils are up by 1. The bottom of the second inning, it is our State Farm double play.
Nice breaking ball there by Nick Pivetta, and an excellent throw by Andrew Knapp. 2-6, caught stealing, strike him out, throw him out. Good tag there by Freddie Galvis. That is your State Farm double play. State Farm, here to help life go right.
We saw a bunch of double plays in last night's game, many of them going against the Phillies, but he strike him out, throw him out, double play helps the Phils today, and we'll take it. We start at the top of the third. Freddie Galvis will be the first batter. That was a really nice tag, as you said, that Galvis put on. It got the knee of Rua as he slid in there to second base, and a good throw by Andrew Knapp as well. The 0-1 pitch to Galvis, sails outside, so it's 1-1 now to Freddie. Then it'll be the top of the order here in the third. Cesar Hernandez and Odubel Herrera following Freddie.
Freddie got the last couple innings off in last night's ball game. Talking with Pete the other night before that doubleheader on Sunday, he went up to Freddie and he said, "Freddie, can I count on you for both games today?" He said, "Skipper, you can count on me for every game."
Yeah, love that.
He said, "My goal is to play 162 games." I said, "I love Freddie." Pete said, "You know what? I do too."
1-2 pitch, and fouls that one.
He may just hit Pete.
Yeah, he may have. That one did go into the Phillies dugout.
Heads up, Skipper.
Just giving him a souvenir.
But don't you want to hear that out of every player?
Absolutely. 1-2 pitch in the dirt. It's 2-2. So when you get an opportunity, whether you have a big lead or you're down by a touchdown, as the Phils were last night at that time, you take an opportunity to get them off their feet. Cesar Hernandez also got the last couple innings off. 2-2 pitch, a little bit low as well. 3-2 now to Freddie Gallo.
Well, it's no secret what Perez is trying to do when he gets ahead in the count. Rush guys inside and then bury that curveball in the dirt. Something they can be aware of.
3-2 pitch, and that is a called third strike. Freddie thought it was low, maybe even a little bit inside, but Mark Rippinger disagrees, and that is a strikeout for Martine Perez in the first out here in the top of the third. Well, we got a pretty good crowd here at Globe Life Park, and you know, this is a really kind of a cool park, a little bit different than many that you see in Major League Baseball. But Jim Salisbury, we won't see this much longer. In fact, the next time the Phils come here, they'll probably have a new park.
No doubt. We'll be back here in 3 years at the earliest, 6 years at the most because of the interleague schedule. And you look around this place, it is a beautiful ballpark. Opened in 1994. This is just the 24th season. And in August, they're going to break ground right next door on a brand new $1 billion Rangers ballpark. It's going to sit in the sports complex here in Arlington, which is between Fort Worth and Dallas. And we're looking at an artist rendering of that ballpark now. But here in Arlington, right between Dallas and Fort Worth, and it's going to be right next to the Cowboys Stadium, that mammoth spaceship next door. And you might ask why the Rangers are going to move out of their ballpark after what will be 26 years. And like I said, still a very, very beautiful, functional ballpark. It has everything to do with the weather, Murph. You know, they figure that they lose about 300,000 fans a year in attendance because of the heat. And in recent years, with the new collective bargaining agreement, there are more day games, getaway day games, because of national TV rights. There are really no opportunities to play Sunday night games as they used to. So they want to put a roof on their new ballpark, and they believe that will keep the players fresher throughout the long summer and help. You know, there's a lot of pop-up thunderstorms here. It'll prevent that, and it'll help the attendance, which in the long run helps your ball club because it gives you more revenues. And I really believe the calculus for the Rangers changed in the last few years when realignment came. The Houston Astros went into the American League West. Both of those teams, that's a big rivalry. Both of those teams never won a World Series. It's a race to see who's going to win the first World Series among those two. The Rangers play down the Astros down the street in Houston in the same heat, but they have a retractable dome. The Rangers are going to get their retractable dome in time for 2020, and that'll be the ballpark the Phillies will be in the next time they're here.
Yeah, you know, and that point is a real good one. As we watch Cesar Hernandez, as Jimmy was talking, ground out to first base, so 2 outs. But yeah, I get it. The retractable roof is certainly I know you love it.
Yes.
Big Ben. The idea to be able to ensure yourself that you're going to have 0 cancellations at home and that you can ensure the comfort of the folks that are coming out to watch baseball. It makes a lot of sense. It's hard to fathom that they're going to knock this place down or whatever they're going to do with it. But, you know, if the money's there to build it and the town is willing to build it, I guess you go for it.
Well, I think they're not going to knock this place down. I'm told that they're going to repurpose it. They may change it a little bit, but it might be parkland, open space. But this structure, and it's a beautiful structure from the outside, walking up, it actually reminds you of old pictures of Shad Park. Yeah. Very ornate on the outside. That facade is going to stay, and they're just going to add to this sports complex. It's really it's a mega facility, especially that football stadium next door. I remember in the early 90s, the first time I ever saw the Astrodome, you know, it takes your breath away. Well, you drive up to this football stadium where the Cowboys play. It's right next door, but you know, you compare that to the Astrodome, I think you could fit 3 or 4 Astrodomes inside that AT&T Cowboys Stadium.
I think you're right.
So it's just a big structure. And while I'm talking about the Cowboys, why not? Hey, boo.
Well done, Jimmy.
Just endeared yourself to Philadelphia fans for years to come. Yeah, boo. I agree with you on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
That one is in the dirt. While you were talking, Jim, we saw a great shot of both the ballpark here and then the football stadium in the background. And it really is kind of a cool complex in a lot of ways, you know, in some ways similar to Philadelphia in the way it is set up, you know, kind of away from the city in a particular part, one huge complex that houses the sports complex here. So, well, you know, in a couple of years we'll be back, hopefully, and we'll check it out, the new ballpark. Thank you, Jim Salisbury. The count is 2-2 to Odubel Herrera with 2 outs here in the top of the third. 2 pitch. That ball was way inside.
Yeah,
but Herrera able to turn on it, hits it foul. So there you see, you know, straight ahead, that's the football stadium that you see, and then there's going to be a new outdoor complex, Texas Live, similar to Xfinity Live, and the new baseball ballpark will be on the left there. So should be quite a scene down here. See if it attracts some more fans. That's the bottom line. 2-2 pitch on the outside corner and a called third strike. So another strikeout for Martine Perez, and no damage done here in the top of the third for the Phils. We'll head to the bottom of the third. The Phillies have a 1-0 lead. Question, log on to Phillies.com, go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. The question today, Ben, not Nolan Ryan. What 3 players have at least 30 doubles in each of the last 7 seasons? 30 doubles in each of the last 7 seasons. The answer will be revealed later in this game. Think about that. Oof, it's a tough one.
Each of the last 7 seasons.
Jared Hoying will lead it off for the Rangers here in the bottom of the third. Takes that first pitch over for a strike. Batting .571 on the season. All of that happened last night when he was just a triple away from the cycle. He had 4 hits. Count is 1-1. The 1-1 pitch outside and high for a ball. It's 2-1 now to Jared Hoying. It'll be Hoying and then DeShields in the top of the order for the Rangers. Shin-Soo Choo. Two-one pitch. Popped up center field. Not deep. Odubel Herrera comes in. Makes the catch. 1 out. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your local Chevrolet dealer. Delino DeShields will be the batter with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Lost in Hoying's big night last night was Delino DeShields in that 9-hole, also with 4 hits, with 4 singles last night. He's batting .563 in his last 5 games. First pitch to him is a bit outside for a ball. Over the outside corner for a strike. 1-1 now to Delino DeShields.
Nick seems to have better command of that slider today than he does his fastball. He's able to get back in a couple counts with it. He's actually gotten 2 full count strikeouts with it as well.
All part of the maturation process for a young pitcher, learning what works up here at the major league level that maybe was high and inside, you know, that maybe you couldn't get away with at the AAA level, or vice versa, I guess I should say. You get away with a little bit more.
Yeah, you can get away with a little bit more, but it's not so much working at this level. It's what's working for you that day. That day. Just because you have it one day doesn't mean you're going to have it the next.
Well, the count is even 2-2 now to DeShields. In the dirt, it's 3-2 now.
See, the pitch before that, the 1-2 pitch, the one up and in, that's where I'm talking about. That's why it was one of my keys. Go in and then pitch in again. There's no way DeShields is looking for another fastball in. There's no way. If you get it even moderately close, you're going to jam him or get him caught looking. He immediately goes back outside with a breaking ball.
Well, he gets him to swing through that. And that is another strikeout for Nick Pivetta. To your point, it took an extra 2 pitches to get it done, but he does get the job done. It's the second out of the inning.
Exactly. This is just straight paint there, right on by DeShields.
CSN Pitchcast presented by your local Tri-State GMC dealers. So DeShields is a strikeout victim. That'll bring up the top of the order Shin-Soo Choo, who struck out in his first at bat. 3 strikeouts on the afternoon so far for Pivetta. 1 time through the lineup. Just a bit inside. It's 2-0 to Shin-Soo Choo. Batting .296 versus right-handers this year. Career, actually. .296 in his career versus right-handers is Choo. He turns on that one, hits it down the right field line, hooking foul. That was hooking in a hurry, and it's a good thing because he stung that one down the right field line. Just a long strike, and it's 2-1 now to Choo. Over for a strike, now 2-2. Shin-Soo Choo.
Another breaking ball to get him back in the count.
Let's see if he can put him away right here. The 2-2 pitch. And it's a ground ball, base hit into right field. Saunders will pick it up on a couple of hops, and that is a 2-out base runner for Choo. So for the second time in this game, Pivetta able to get the first 2 batters out of the inning and allows a base hit. See if he can bear down and get Elvis Andrus, who steps to the plate. Andrus popped up to Tommy Joseph in his only at bat today. First pitch. Elvis Andrus is a little bit high for a ball. It's 1-0. Got him bailing a little bit there.
He did.
Choo leads off first. The 1-0 pitch. Foul back. Well, I said we were going to get a foul ball before this series was over, Ben. We're running out of time.
It's going to be tough, Murph.
Don't rain on my parade.
I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibilities here, but
one pitch in the dirt. 2-1.
we're definitely not going to get one from a righty.
Okay.
Those look refreshing.
Yeah. It's an Igloo frozen drink. I don't think that color's found in nature, though. Big swing into this by Andrews, and the count is all even up at 2-2. Another example of the breaking ball. So Pivetta has his sign from Andrew Knapp. And the 2-2 pitch. Runner starts and stops from first, and that ball is fouled and out of play. And we'll do it again.
You do have to watch out for patterns here. He's been doing it just about every hitter to get back in counts with a breaking ball. He doesn't double up with it, but he immediately goes to the fastball. He just did it to Chu. He did it to DeShields. He did it to Chu, and then he just does it again to Elvis Andrews.
And 2-2 pitch. Just outside. Andrew Knapp wanted that pitch, as did Nick Pivetta. But the count goes full. It's 3-2. 6 3-ball counts today. Out of the 53 pitches, that is part of the reason why that pitch count gets up there so quickly. He's faced just 10 batters, 6 of them 3-ball count. Chu leads off first. Tommy Joseph not holding him on. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled off again to the exact same spot. So now what?
I keep challenging him. Though he has gotten some outs with his off-speed pitch with full counts.
Inside for a ball, and he walked him. So Elvis Andrews is the second base runner in this inning. Runners at first and second with 2 outs, and that's going to bring up the 3-hole hitter Nomar Mazara. It's the first walk of the afternoon for Pivetta. That'll bring out Bob McClure to have a conversation. This is a big batter early in this game for sure. When you see a pitcher consistently get, the first couple guys out and then get himself into trouble, is there something you can put your finger on that the reason is start to lose focus?
No, I just think it's, it's just consistency. It's just command consistency. He has it, doesn't have it. He has it, doesn't have it. It's just a matter of staying consistent throughout those 3 outs of a given inning.
Bob McClure may have had a motive in going out to talk to Nick Pivetta there, because he had a couple of words for Mark Rippinger as well when Rippinger came out to break up that meeting. I think they wanted that 2-2 pitch.
Yeah.
That they didn't get. So Bob voiced his opinion. He has been heard. And Nomar Mazara steps into the plate and takes that first pitch over for a strike. So 2 outs, runners on first and second here in the bottom of the 3rd. Bit low for a ball, 1-1.
Amazing, all these hitters for the most part. Chu, all the lefties I should say. Chu, Mazara, Odor, Gallo, Hoying. They're all the same batting stance. It's an open stance. Let me see if I can get a pitch middle in and drive it out of here in this airport at times of a ballpark.
1-1 pitch. The breaking ball finds the outside corner for a strike. It's 1-2. 26 pitches so far this inning for Nick Pivetta, as his pitch count sits at 58. Time is called as Mazara steps out of the box. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, popped up, straight back, and just to the right of us. That was close.
Mm-hmm. You're begging now.
That's the closest one we've had in 3 days. Hit just to the right of us. So we'll do it again. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball back up the middle under the glove of Pivetta, but Galvis over by the second base bag picks it up and throws across for the final out of the inning. He was shaded up the middle, and Galvis made the play on the right side of the second place bag. Nice play for him, and the Phillies are through the inning. A variety of different colors and ideal for most hard to stick surfaces. So if it needs to get done, put it on a post-it note. Personally delivered to you and your desktop for free by who? Who but WB Mason. 1-0 Phils over the Rangers as we head to the top of the fourth, and you love this pitch by Nick Pivetta.
And it just shows you, look, Mazar's right on top of the plate. When I say pitch in, it doesn't have to be on the black on the inside corner. Like, it doesn't have to be right there. It can be somewhere in the middle. Not in the middle, but I mean, these guys cut themselves off. It doesn't have to be that great, and they're going to jam themselves. When I say pitch in, I'm not saying it's got to be on the black on the inside corner at the belt. Perfect. It's too hard to do consistently, but as long as you can get it in that vicinity, get guys that are looking out over the plate, that's exactly what I'd like to see more of.
As Aaron Altair steps in, he takes that ball over for a strike. It's 1-1. Well, you know, you illustrate that perfectly. You see exactly how that came off the bat. You know, it's a weak roller, went right under the glove of Pivetta, and you know, luckily Galvis was shaded over that way. But your point is a good one. I'm sure Bob McClure will have that same conversation with Nick Pivetta and Andrew Knapp. 1-2 pitch to Altair. Ground ball back up the middle, but shaded over there is Odor, and 4-3 goes to put out, 1 out. Today's lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Frank Avent Sr. from Philadelphia, PA. The Phillies hit a home run in this game. The contestant, well, that will be Frank. The contestant will win $100. Now at McDonald's, an ice cold delicious soft drink is only $1. I'm loving it.
Good luck, Frank.
That'll bring up Tommy Joseph. Be all right if he delivered $100 to Frank, huh?
Frank would be happy.
Takes that first pitch over for a strike. He turns on that one, hits a line drive to left field, but the line of DeShields comes in and has to jump and make the catch. And he does just that. And we're 2 outs here in the fourth.
Boy, he can be a circus out there at times, can't he?
I was just thinking the same thing. He was their center fielder for a time here in Texas, and moved over to left field. We saw him take a couple strange routes last night on a couple baseballs, but
a lot of times Ryan Rua, today's first baseman, goes out and replaces DeShields in later innings if they have a lead.
First pitch to Andres Blanco is a little bit low. I always remembered his dad being such a good defensive player, infielder. But he made the catch. There's 2 outs here in the fourth. Andres Blanco struck out in his first at bat. Takes that one on the outside corner for a strike. And he hits that one hard down to the left field line, but Delano DeShields able to break on that one and make the catch as well. So a couple of line drives to left field, and Martine Perez is through the top of the fourth.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to video boards.
Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com. By Jefferson Health. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW or visit jefferson.edu. And by your local Ford store. Check out every new Ford car, truck, and SUV crossover at buyfordnow.com today. 1-0 Phillies here in Arlington, Texas, as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Yeah, if anyone asks, you didn't see me. Dad's helping him out too. He's got good seats too. He wasn't shying away from the camera. There's no doubt about that. There's Nick Pivetta out there here in the bottom of the fourth. That was his 61st pitch of the afternoon. To Robinson Chirinos. He was 0 for 1. Lined out at his first at bat. Grounds that one foul. It's 1-1. It'd be nice to see Pivetta have a very efficient inning. One pitch. Popped up to right field. Michael Saunders breaks in and makes the catch. 1 out.
There's 3 pitches, 1 out.
He'll take it. Well, MLB Tv Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions to apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. The batter will be Rougned Odor. Popped out on a nice play, a sliding play by Andres Blanco down there at third base. First pitch to Odor is, I guess, inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Odor back under that 200 mark at 199. Phillies do have the shift on with nobody on, and Odor at the plate. Pops that one, fouling out of play. You see the defense.
You shift on every lefty. Every one.
1-1 pitch inside. Odor had squared around, showing bunt. Able to pull that back. It's 2-1 now to Rougned Odor. And Andres Blanco wants to have a word with Nick Pivetta.
Sometimes we'll see literally Cesar be way out here. Right now he's right on the infield dirt. When you have a Gallo up or Hoying, Mazzara, he tends to be more out in this vicinity than opposed to being on the infield dirt.
Is that because of Odor's speed, you think?
It's part of his speed, and also the other guys have a little bit more pop. Now Odor has pop, don't get me wrong. Not in big stature, but he's got some juice.
See pitch
by that hack.
Yeah. Fouled straight back. 2-2. You saw Andres Blanco come in to talk to Pivetta. Is he saying, hey, let me know if you're going to work the outside of the plate, because he needs to adjust at that point? He's the only guy left on the left side of the infield.
Yeah, no, I think he told him if he bunts, it's you.
Okay.
Because I can't get there.
Right. Well, Blanco had snuck in and was on the grass when the count was 2-1. Now that it is 2-2, he has gone back to the traditional shortstop position. Gamesmanship. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Turned on and hit foul down the right field line.
A ton of foul balls today.
Just some souvenirs for the kids that are here. It was Weather Appreciation Day here at Globe Life Park. So lots of school kids in attendance. And that one is turned on and hit the right field. Saunders saunters in and makes the catch. 2 outs. Early this morning, you were not appreciating Weather Appreciation Day.
No. Got in here and all the windows were open. See the groups up top, all the kids that were here. I was talking to my father in here and he goes, you okay? I said, Dad, I'm hot. We were trying to write the lineup of cars. The sun's beating down on us. We had our sunglasses on. I had to close the windows and let the AC kick on a little bit.
The kids were screaming.
I was hungry.
Well, from one friend to another, you were a little grumpy this morning.
I was.
Yeah. Congratulations, though, to you and your wife Meg, who purchased a new home today.
Thank you.
Well, Meg did all the work.
Yes, she did. She always does.
2-0 to Ryan Rua.
Yeah, we're very excited.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank you.
Moving a couple miles away from your old home, but
well, 2 miles.
Big day. That one sails outside. Ball 3 to Rua. So once again, Pivetta gets the first 2 outs in the inning, and now he's behind 3-0 to Ryan Rua. You're not living directly next door to your old house, right?
2 miles.
Okay. Just wondering. 3-0 pitch outside, and he walked him. So once again, a 2-out base runner for the Rangers, and that'll bring up the dangerous Joey Gallo. So how'd you swing it that you got to be in Texas while Meg had to sign all the papers for the new house?
That's the way it works out. It's the way the cookie crumbles, Murph.
Meg said she had to sign your name about 150 times today, right? You might get back home and realize you don't have a key. 2 outs. And Joey Gallo at the plate. Big swing and a miss. Breaking balls 0-1 to Gallo. Rua leads off first. He walked. 1 pitch. Grounded foul just past the first base bag. And it is 0-2 to Joey Gallo.
A lot of off-speed pitches to Gallo throughout this 3-game series, but doesn't mean you can't climb the ladder with a fastball.
Quick throw over. Rua gets back. Tommy Joseph digs that one out of the dirt. But if you're going to climb the ladder, it's got to be up there.
It does.
Around the letters.
Be way up there. I mean, Pivetta's got enough giddy up where he can get it by Gallo. Gallo's got a big swing at times.
0-2 pitch. A foul ball.
But it needs to be better than that. It's an 0-2 hanger right there.
A bit low for a ball. So 1-2 now to Gallo. At least one base runner in every inning for the Rangers, but no one's advanced further than second base so far. 1-2 pitch. It's outside for a ball. It's 2-2. I feel like he wasted that one.
I think he wasted the last two. I mean, the 0-2 pitch, the fastball he threw was supposed to be away, and he yanks it down and in.
That one is low as well. So 3-2 now. Another 3-ball count. We'll give Ryan Ruhr a head start over there at third base, or excuse me, at first base. As you see, Jared Hoying waits on deck. Doesn't want to walk him here, so on the stretch, the 3-2 pitch just outside for a ball, and he walks him. Thought maybe he was going to get that pitch. Ripperger said no. Gallo walks for the 20th time this season, and now 2 on with 2 outs here in the 4th. Here's the 21st pitch of the inning, and it's outside. Jared Hoying is the batter. Runners at first and second. And that pitch is over for a strike. So 0-1 to Hoying. Some bodies starting to stir in the Phillies bullpen. Someone sails inside for a ball. It's 1-1. Nobody throwing yet, but Andrew Knapp wants to have a conversation with Nick Pivetta. What do you think Andrew Knapp's telling his pitcher right now?
Just, you got to bear down here. Pitch every pitch with conviction. Believe in every pitch as to where it's going to go. Each pitch has a purpose.
That one is hit out of play. Foul ball. 2-2 now to Jared Hoying. So a big pitch in this ball game right here. Count is 2-2, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Bottom of the 4th. 2-2 pitch. Fouled away again. And another inning of over 25 pitches for Nick Pivetta. Upstairs, ball 3, 3-2.
.39 balls, 48 strikes.
Orlando DeShields is on deck. The count is full to Jared Hoying. The 3-2 pitch swung on and line foul out of play. So we'll do it again. Both runners were running on the pitch. They'll have to head back. From the belt, 3-2 pitch, ground ball left side, right at Andres Blanco. He'll go across to first and get the final out of the inning. So even with the shift on, able to get the ground ball out on the left side of the infield, and Pivetta is able to work through some trouble here in the 4th. We'll head to the top of the 5th. The Phillies lead it 1-0. For our Toyota turning point, and it was in the 2nd inning. And the lefty Michael Saunders at the plate delivers that one to right center field, in for a triple. Maikel Franco followed with a deep fly ball to center field, and that has accounted for the only run so far in this game, as the Phillies lead it 1-0 here in the top of the 5th. That is our Toyota turning point. Michael Saunders is the batter to lead it off here in the 5th. 252 on the season. I told you he had a 2-run home run last night, the triple today. A couple hits in the first game as well. So Saunders has had a good series. Takes that over for a strike. It's 2-1.
I've been impressed with Perez today. Anybody that can locate his fastball to both sides of the plate. Definitely good off-speed pitches, secondary pitches.
He's fallen behind Michael Saunders 3-1. It's a ground ball. That's a fair ball, and it is bobbled a bit, and the foot race to first base. Rua flips it over to Perez, and just in time to get Saunders. One went right over the bag, and it kind of threw Ryan Rua for second, but he's able to gather himself. And a nice play by Martine Perez as well. And that is the first out. That was a bang play over there at first base.
I think Rua looks up, and he expected him to be there, and he just wasn't. Perez, just in the nick of time.
So 3-1 goes to put out. Quick conversation from Joey Gallo with Martine Perez, more than likely to gather his breath a little bit.
Exactly.
As Maikel Franco steps in, the designated hitter. I just mentioned it was a sac fly in the second, but it was to straightaway center field up against the wall, and he swings the first pitch in that one and hits that one well. Going back on it as Mazara at the track and over the wall. That is gone. A solo shot from Maikel Franco to right center field, and that is a good sign. That is Franco's 6th home run of the season.
Boy, that gives me chill bumps, Murph. I'm not going to lie to you. Just missed a home run his first at bat. A 2-run homer, did get the sac fly, but this is a first pitch breaking ball. And he stays on. Look at that extension through the baseball. Goes out to it. Boy, that's a beautiful level swing there. Right on out of here. The Phillies a 2-0 lead.
That ball just kept carrying and carrying. So a good sign for Maikel Franco, who's hit 2 balls hard this afternoon, and he gives the Phils a 2-0 lead. With that home run, Frank Event Sr. from Philadelphia, you've just won $100, courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot.
Way to go, Frank.
So Andrew Knapp is the batter for the Phils. Fouls that one back. It's 1-1 to Knapp.
I mean, that's a completely different swing than the balls he rolled over to shortstop and third base.
You know, you said last night a couple of those balls that he grounded out, you know, to the left side of the infield into double plays. You said, you got to take that to right center field. Line drives to right center field. That's exactly what he just did there. So good to see.
But the thing is, it's harder to do it against the lefty. It's easier to do it against righty if it's right on right. So it's harder to do it against the lefty, and that's a really good sign that he does do it against the lefty.
And that one is a line drive into right center field, and that one is going to find the gap. One hops off the wall. Knapp is going to round first and cruise on into second. His 4th double of the year for Andrew Knapp, and his first hit as a right-handed batter this season. Well, nice to see as well.
Last two righties using that opposite field make Pete McCann and Matt Stairs very happy. Now, if you try and pull that pitch, it's a 6-3 all day long. Believe me, because I know I did it for 16 years. But that's just good hitting. Well, another batter with good extension.
Knapp had been 0 for 4 as a right-handed hitter so far this season, batting .273 overall coming into that at bat, but first hit as a right-hander. The Phils have something cooking here as well with 1 out in the top of the 5th inning. Knapp leads off second, and Freddie Galvis will be the batter. He struck out in his first at bat. Let's keep it going. Foul ball, out of play into the first row.
This might be, and I sure hope it is, this might be the point in time of Maikel Franco's career where he says, I think I'm starting to get it. Because with that swing, he can hit any pitch. He can hit the ball in. Obviously, he can hit the ball away. He can ball down the middle. With that same swing, that could be a turning point. It really could be. I might be jumping the gun. I don't think I am.
1-1 pitch upstairs for a ball. 2-1. Well, I know fans all over the Delaware Valley are hoping that you are exactly right. I know that the guys down in that dugout at third base are certainly hoping that as well. He has so much talent.
Yes, he does. Just the hand speed alone with a bat in his hand.
2-1 pitch. Fouled straight back. It's 2-2.
And that's why, like last night, I got so frustrated because I know he can do it. It's like when you're bad analogy, but like one of your kids does something bad and you know they know better, but yet they continue to do it.
Well, that is how you felt last night. I felt like that awkward guy in the room when the other parent was yelling at his kid.
Nothing to see here.
Well, the count is 2-2 to Freddie Galvis with the runner on second. Robinson Chirinos just wanted to have a quick conversation with his pitcher, Martine Perez. Perez working from the stretch. 2-2 pitch. Line drive right at the shortstop, Andrews, who picks it up off of his shoelaces for the catch. Knapp has to retreat to second. That is the second out of the inning. Well, a reminder, 2 great post-game fireworks shows are sponsored by Xfinity. They're coming your way in Philadelphia July 6th. The game versus the Pirates, and then Friday, July 7th versus the Padres. 6:05 and 6:35 respectively for those 2 games. Best Hollywood holiday fireworks show in the city. Not too early to start playing to see these games. Visit Phillies.com for more information and order your tickets. So with 2 outs, Cesar Hernandez will try and pick up Freddie Galvis and get 1 additional run home here in the 5th. Hernandez 0 for 2 today, batting .307 coming into the game. And he hits that one high into center field, not deep at all. Going back on it is Odor, and then coming in is Hoy, and he'll make the call and the catch. And that'll be the final out of the inning. But Maikel Franco doubles the lead for the Phils with one swing of the bat. Opposite way, right center field, a solo shot, number 6 of the season for him. And the Phillies lead it 2-0. Citizens Bank, the official bank of the Phillies. Visit citizensbank.com. Some games today. Lehigh Valley going this afternoon versus Rochester. Rochester leads the game 10-7 in the 5th inning, but Cousins with another home run. Reese Hoskins with a grand slam in that one. 12 in a row for Lehigh Valley. That's a club record for them. And Reading already a winner today, 8-3 over Erie. Andrew Pullen had a big day, 3 for 4, and a double and a home run for him. So the minor leagues continue to stay red hot for the Phils, which is good to see. Well, Nick Pivetta is front running here in Arlington. 2-0 lead as we start the bottom of the 5th. First up is Delino DeShields, and that pitch is up. It's ball 1.
He pitches now for Nick, no doubt. It'll be a short leash. Pete doing everything in his power to try and get Nick Pivetta his first big league win.
Over for a strike. It's 2-1. Yeah, as I said before, there's some movement down there in the Phil's bullpen. A couple guys up and stretching at this point, so they'd like to see him get through this 5th inning for sure. 2-1 pitch. Over for a strike. It's 2-2.
That bullpen now runs parallel with the fence in left field. It used to go straight back, and it was a sauna back there.
Not
right
a whole
back
lot of
in
air
there,
movement.
that region. Yeah. Oh, it was so hot.
Foul, that'll play.
It just, the air did not move whatsoever. As windy as this stadium can be, you know, now the bullpen runs this way, but when it ran the other way, well, oppressively hot.
Two pitch. Popped up and out of play. Not like that bullpen in Chicago, Wrigley Field nowadays.
Yeah.
It's an air-conditioned bullpen out there in right and left field at Wrigley Field. American Standard has their sign out there, but I'm not sure the bullpen is air-conditioned. But you could have a Dr. Pepper if you like. 2-2 pitch. Check swing. A little bit low. 3-2. To the batter, Delino DeShields. The DeShields, and then the top of the order for the Rangers. Another 3-ball count. Another full count for Nick Pivetta. Swing and a miss, and he got him. So he goes to count full, but then is able to pull the string on that one and get his 4th strikeout of the afternoon. Shields goes down for the 2nd time. That's the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Shin-Soo Choo. Let's flash back to the last inning, bottom of the 4th. The final batter, Jared Hoying, was up, and the infield was shifted, but the Phils, well, they got a little lucky here, did they not, Ben?
The only one on that side of the infield, and take a look, Andres Blanco doesn't even move. I mean, if this ball is literally hit to 5 feet to his left or right, it's going to be a hit and an RBI. You know, that's why you have that advanced scouting, and to have that, man, it just pays dividends.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good pitch by Pivetta, obviously. Blanco still has to make the play, but baseball, as are many sports, a game of inches, and if that is one way to the other just by a couple feet, as you pointed out, then it's a different ball game. But it wasn't. That's what we like to see. So Phil's able to get out of the 4th, and now 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Shin-Soo Choo is the batter. The count is 2-0 to Choo. Upstairs 3-0 now. 100 pitches for Nick Pivetta. Walker. So Choo is a 1-out base runner. And that'll bring up Elvis Andrus, the 2-hole hitter. He's been on base once today, 0 for 1. He's walked. And another conversation on the hill for the Phillies. They're going to have to keep their eye on Choo as well. He's stolen a couple bases, 3 bases so far this season. And caught twice. The entire infield is having a conversation. Bob McClure says his piece, heads back to the dugout, and with 1 out, Pivetta will go to work against Elvis Andrus. First pitch is upstairs for a ball, 1-0. 5 straight balls out of the strike zone now for Pivetta.
A hot day. He's thrown a lot of pitches per inning. He's probably gassed.
One's a bit low, 2-0. Choo takes his lead off first. And a quick throw over. On the outside corner for a strike. It's 2-1. Well, if you're Nick Pivetta at this point, you are digging deep to try and get through this inning. Hand it off to the bullpen and hope that they can hold it for you. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2. On the outside corner, called, 3rd strike, 5th strikeout of the afternoon, and a big one for Nick Pivetta right there as Andrus heads back to the dugout. And out comes Pete Mackanin, and this could be it for Nick Pivetta. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and it is indeed the end of the day for Pivetta. So he'll head to the dugout, and this will be the final pitch of the afternoon, and it was a good one.
Paint. Unfortunately, the pitch count getting up to where the Phillies can no longer risk it. We're going to have a pitching change. Joely Rodriguez coming in to face Nomar Mazara.
clean, crisp Coors Light. Good day for the clean, crisp Coors Light. We're talking best interleague record since 2010. And only the Boston Red Sox have been better than these Texas Rangers. Rangers 86-54. That's a winning percentage of just about 61.5. So they've been good in interleague play. No surprise, 5 American League teams on that list. But right now, the Phils have the best of the Rangers in this one, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 lead. Joely Rodriguez. The left-hander will come in to face the left-hander Nomar Mazara. You see Rodriguez's numbers on the year coming into his 19th game. And this is a move that Pete Mackanin almost had to make, don't you think, Ben, at this point?
I think so. That pitch count was up there too high, and Nomar Mazara just hitting 111 against lefties this season. 234 last year against lefties.
He takes that first pitch over for a strike. So Rodriguez's job is to get out the left-hander and get back into the dugout with this 2-0 lead intact. Shin-Soo Choo leads off first base. Outside for a ball, 1-1. Low and outside for a ball, 2-1 to Nomar Mazara. So we talked about Nick Pivetta trying to finish up on a strong note if this is indeed his last start at this level for the foreseeable future. That remains to be seen, but hopefully he can take some good things away from what he was able to do today. 4 2/3 innings. Throw over, and he had Ciulini, but they're going to say that was a balk, and I would agree, as it looked like Rodriguez was coming to the plate, and he changed in mid-stride and threw over to first. So Chu will get awarded second. Take a look right there.
Yeah, the leg came up and then got him leaning, and that was, I could call that from up here.
So that moves Chu into scoring position. Over there at second base, the count is 2-1 to the batter Nomar Mazara. Well, just go get the batter. No harm, no foul. Outside for a ball. So now 3-1 to the lefty Nomar Mazara. Right-hander Robinson Chirinos waits on deck. Nobody throwing in the Phil's bullpen. The 3-1 pitch. Fouled back, 3-2.
Well, he chose to go with the slider there. 3-1 count.
Does that mean we'll see it again, you think?
I would think.
Rodriguez leans in to get his sign from Andrew Knapp. On the stretch. 3-2 pitch. Off the handle and foul. Remains 3-2. I'm not sure that this wouldn't have hit him if he didn't swing at that.
Man. Well, pulling your hands in.
Knapp sets up outside, the 3-2 pitch, and it is outside off the plate. Ball 4, so he walked him. So Mazzaro heads on down to first, and that'll bring up Robinson Chirinos, who's 0 for 2 on the afternoon. That was the guy they wanted, for sure. Now Rodriguez is going to have to work against the right-handed hitting Chirinos. Foul ball, out of play. See Jeff Bannister looking on from the Rangers dugout. Inside for a ball. It's 1-1 to Chirinos. Runners at first and second in the 5th. That was a fly ball to right field. Saunders not going to get it. It's going to fall in for a hit. One run is going to score. And Mazzaro ends up at third base. It's an RBI 2-out single for Robinson Chirinos, and the lead is cut in half. The Rangers now trail it 2-1. No chance for Saunders on that one, as that was perfectly placed down the right field line.
That runner will be charged to Nick Pivetta. Close the book on Nick for today. Chirinos just sticking his bat out there and shoot it down the right field line. Chu scores easily.
And now that'll prompt another conversation from Bob McClure. The winds are howling up here in the booth and causing havoc as we speak.
I don't know what that was.
That was our lighting system.
We had a tripod with a big light on the top of it, and it just
blew over. As did my half-full cup of tea. Iced tea. Two outs, runners on first and third. And the batter is Rougned Odor. First pitch to Odor is low and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Walks have hurt the Phillies in this inning. Way outside for a ball, 2-0.
It's me like Joel's just struggling with his release point right now. Doesn't have it on the fastball nor the slider. Seems like he's just across his body as he's getting some extension out in front. We always talk about hitters getting extension. Well, pitchers need to do the same thing. Out in front, release point out in front, not across your body.
Runners lead off at the corners. The 2-0 pitch. Outside for a ball. It's 3-0. Still nobody warming in the Phillies bullpen, so this is Joely Rodriguez's inning, at least in the short term. Ryan Rua waits on deck. And that one is lined into left field. Aaron Altera on his horse, but he's not going to get it. A run's going to score. And one runner will advance. Mazzaro will advance up to, or excuse me, Chirinos advances up to second base. It's a base hit for Odor. Almost got themselves into a little bit of trouble as Odor thought about stretching that to 2. Chirinos was not advancing, so he had to head on back. But just like that, the score is tied.
3-0 green light there for Odor, and he shoots it down the left field line. He just assumed that Chirinos was going to make it all the way to third. See, Mazara scores easily, but watch how far Odor gets out there.
Throw comes into third base, so he's able to scamper back. But he got the job done. He gets the tying run across, and it's 2-2 now in the fifth, and still 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Ryan Rua is the batter, and he flies that one to right field. Saunders going back, and he's not going to get it. It is gone. A 3-run opposite field shot by Ryan Rua. And 5 unanswered runs here in the fifth inning. The Phillies trail it 5-2. Wow.
Boy, that escalated quickly, didn't it, Murph? Now the 2 walks scored in Chu and Mazara. Mixing a couple singles here and there. And then the big 3-run blast by Rua.
I'm not sure that got more than 15 feet off the ground at any point. It was just a line drive to right field that kept on going.
Yeah, first pitch fastball hunting was Ryan Rua. Just gets out of here, but the damage is done nonetheless.
5 runs across. 4 of them. 5 of them coming with 2 outs in this inning. And that'll bring up Joey Gallo. 0 for 1 today with a walk. And he turns on that one deep down the right field line. If it's fair, it's gone. It is a foul ball up into the second deck. And that just missed. Right field foul ball. Take another look. Breaking ball right over the heart of the plate. Willie Rodriguez back to work against Joey Gallo. The count is 0-2 with 2 outs. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside for a ball. It's 1-2. Gallo is the 8th batter of the inning. The 1-2 pitch. Outside for a ball. 2-2.
The 1-out walk to Chu, but pretty much all this done with 2 outs. Was able to get Andrews caught looking, so it was just a man on first with 2 outs. Next thing you know, they have 5 runs.
The count is 3-2 now to Joey Gallo. 5 walks this afternoon for Phillies pitching. 2 of them in this inning alone. They both scored. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he got it. So Gallo goes down swinging, but not before the Rangers tie it up, and then much more. 5 runs across here in the 5th. And now the Phils have some work to do. They trail it 5-2.
holding on to the honor for a second straight week. Aaron has been tearing the cover off the ball since the start of May. Through the first 11 days of the month, he was smacking the ball around at a clip of .433. That was carrying a slugging percentage over 1,000. Through his first 8 games of the month, Altair had 13 hits, equaling his total for the entire month of April. Then he put together 3 straight games with a 3-run home run in each. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
Well, we're in the top of the 6th here in Arlington, Texas. The Phillies trying to get a win before heading out to Pittsburgh, but a 2-0 lead evaporated in the bottom of the 5th inning. 5 runs scored by the Rangers. So Phillies and their offense have their work cut out for them, as they're going to have to come from behind to win this one. Odubel Herrera will lead it off in the 6th. 0 for 2 today. 2 strikeouts for Herrera. First pitch sails inside for a ball, 1-0. You said you've been impressed by Martine Perez, and well, now he's got the lead to work with. Finds the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Ground ball, right side foul. 1-2 to Odubel Herrera. Time is called as Herrera steps out. The wind is really whipping once again. Line drive right at the second baseman, Odor makes the catch, and that's the first out of the inning. Well, tonight on Quick Slants, with the addition of running back LeGarrette Blount, how does the Eagles offense compare with last year's addition? Derek Gunn and former Eagle Barrett Brooks debate that and much more on Quick Slants tonight at 6 on CSN. Aaron Altair will be the batter. Altair is 1 for 2 today. He singled back in the first inning. Fouls that one out of play. It's 0-1. Over for a strike. 0-2 to Aaron Altair. You can probably hear the wind whipping in our microphones. Started the game with 17-mile-per-hour gusts. They have certainly picked up since then.
A bit more steady now.
Yeah. Should make for a fun plane ride out of here, huh?
Yeah.
The 0-2 pitch. Inside. Low for a ball. It's 1-2. Well, it's just 3 runs. I mean, it certainly is not out of reach. Phils need base runners. Maybe chip away. 2-2 to Aaron Altair. It'll be Altair, then Joseph. Outside for a ball. 3-2 now to Aaron Altair.
Win the battle here.
Yeah.
Down 0-2. Battle back. Lay off some good put away pitches.
Perez has his sign. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and hit well to center field. Going back on it is Hoying. He's going to have room, though, at the track. And he pulls it in and makes the catch. Herrera hit it well. Got it up into that wind. And Hoying able to pull it back for the second out of the inning. So that'll bring up Tommy Joseph. 0 for 2 on the afternoon. It's the Phillies' first baseman. 35,000 plus on hand at Globe Life Park today. Getaway day for the Phillies, as we just mentioned, off to Pittsburgh after this game. As Tommy swings through that one. Strike one. Sure would be a much more pleasant flight.
Yes,
the Phillies can come back and find a way to win this one. Take 1 out of the 3 here in Texas.
That was the 27th home run allowed by the Phillies bullpen. Most in baseball. Ooh, 27th.
Long ball has been an issue since day 1 of the season. The 0-2 pitch. Called, 3rd strike. And that is the 3rd out of the inning. So Tommy Joseph is a strikeout victim. And Martine Perez is through 6. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. The Phillies trail by 3. WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for fast, free delivery? Nobody does it better. And by Toyota. Find your favorite model today. Toyota. Let's go places. Bottom of the 6th. And some changes for the Phillies. Aaron Altherr is going to move over to right field. And Ty Kelly will head out to left field. So Michael Saunders' day is done for the Phillies. Joely Rodriguez is still the pitcher for the Phils as they trail it 5-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch to Jared Hoying is a bunt, and it's a perfect one. And he is a leadoff base runner.
Hardly ever see lefties bring it with them anymore. Usually they'll drop it down the 3rd base line, but this is perfectly placed. You know you have a lefty that's up, and he typically will fall off towards the 3rd base side. Gets in that no man's land, and he beats it out easily. Watch Joely spin off here. Nothing he can do to get there. That's textbook.
So that'll bring up Delino DeShields. He has had a tough day. He has struck out twice so far. Well, he's a quick one, but it sure would be nice to see a double play right here. Help out Rodriguez. He thinks about bunting. He takes that first one over for a strike. Time is called. Hoying leads off first. From the stretch, the 0-1 pitch. Again, Shields squares around. This time pulls it back. Ball one. It's 1-1 now to Delano to Shields. Top of the order for the Rangers. Due up next. You see Rangers manager Jeff Bannister. He's done a good job since taking over as the skipper. Well, more than a good job. He's won the division the last 2 years in his first 2 years as the head man here in Texas. That pitch is a ground ball to second base. They're only going to be able to get the one as Hoying was running on the pitch. So he'll move up to second. Phils will take the out at first. 4-3 goes to put out. Kind of a cool story about Jeff Bannister. First and foremost, one of two coaches, and we talked about Beasley, the third base coach, Tony Beasley, yesterday, a cancer survivor. But Jeff Bannister, also a cancer survivor, and had one major league at bat. Played in the minor leagues for years and years and years. Was called up, was up on the major league roster, got in for one at bat, pinch hit, base hit. Never batted again in the big leagues. 1 for 1 as a major league hitter. Now, the cool thing is you have a career batting average of 1,000.
Yeah, you do.
That's cool. But just the one at bat, kind of like the Moonlight Graham of the big leagues. But he's had kind of a remarkable story. He was also involved in, when he was playing in junior college, involved in a collision at home plate that left him temporarily paralyzed from the neck down.
That's scary.
And he was able to recover from that as well to make it into the minor leagues and then on to the big leagues for that one at bat. So kind of a cool story. But he has done a real good job with this Rangers team. A lot of talent on this team. You still have to know how to manage it. 1-1 pitch to Shin-Soo Choo is check swing, no swing, says Tom Hallion. And it's 2-1 now to Shin-Soo Choo. Ben, I don't have to tell you the Phils can't afford to allow any more runs in this game.
There's nobody up in the Phillies bullpen either.
2-1 pitch. Over for a called strike. It's 2-2.
I mean, really, Joelly's in there because of this lineup, the way they hit lefties in 2017. I mean, it's all the position players.
2-2 pitch in the dirt.
174, 162, 111, 207, 143, 143, 138, 261, 375, and Lucro. But that is amazing.
Hope that at this point Joelly can start taking advantage of that. He can't defend walks, and that's another one. So Shin-Soo Choo works himself down to first base. So runners at first and second with one out now. That'll bring up Elvis Andrus. Andrus is 0 for 2. He also walked back in the third. One of the 6 walks issued by Phil's pitching today. Runners lead off first and second. First pitch swinging, line drive into left field. Ty Kelly not going to get it. Falls in front of him. 1 run will score. Choo will move up to third. And on the throw, Elvis Andrus moves up to second. So an RBI hit and another run for the Rangers. It is now 6-2 Texas.
Turns on this fastball in, does Elvis Andrus, and ball doesn't even get to the wall, but Andrus able to make it into second base.
So runners at second and third now with 1 out. And the heart of the order for the Texas Rangers is coming up. And now finally Pat Neshek gets up and quickly starts to warm up for the Phils. You see the runners at second and third. Phil's infield is in. And Bob McClure is out to have a conversation with his pitcher. See Mazara 1 for 2 today. He doubled way back in the first inning. Once again, the entire infield is in to have a conversation with Bob McClure. Not sure what you can say at this point if you're McClure. These guys just are not making effective pitches when they need to. So that conversation is over, and Mazara will step in. He walked his last at bat, scored a run in that 5th inning. As I mentioned, the infield in for the Phils. First pitch to Mazara is low and outside for a ball.
Mazara saw 6 pitches from Joely last inning when he came in. Obviously has that arm slot down.
He turns on that, and that is ripped into the crowd foul. Looks like everybody is okay. Count is even 1-1 with 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 6th. 1 run already across. Count is now 2-1 to Nomar Mazara. Three and 1. That's the count to Mazara. Robinson Chirinos waits on deck. Three 1 pitch. Foul back. It's 3-2.
He was right on that one.
.37 pitches for Joely Rodriguez. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ground ball back up the middle, and that's going to score 2. Andrews comes around from second. He scores. In front of him, Shin-Soo Choo also touches the plate. It's a 1-out. Single and 2 RBIs for Robinson Chirinos. Rangers have busted this one wide open. 8-2 is your score, and that's going to do it for Joely Rodriguez. 5 runs in the 5th, 3 so far here in the 6th. The Phils have another big hill to climb here in Arlington. We have a pitching change. We'll be right back. trivia question answer. Question was today, Ben, the 3 players that have at least 30 doubles in each of the last 7 seasons. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go with Robinson Cano, who's a doubles machine.
Okay, got one.
I'm going to go with Albert Pujols. No. And then my last guess would be Adrian Beltre.
Well, you got 2 out of the 3. That's pretty good.
Who do you
Give me
got?
a hint. Saw him already this year out on the West Coast. Kills the Phils.
Adrian Gonzalez.
Adrian Gonzalez is correct. Well, 2 out of 3. That's not bad, man. They get you into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well.
2 for 3. Well, meanwhile, Pat Neshek is the new pitcher for the Phils. You can log back on to Phillies.com to see if you are the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Team Stump the fans. Robinson Chirinos is the batter, and Pat Neshek is AC coming into his 16th game. It's been good. 1.32 ERA. The only runs he's allowed were in his last outing. He allowed that 2-run home run. That was the last time we saw Pat Neshek in Washington. Mazara's down there at first base. He of the RBI single that played at 2, and the Phils trail at 8-2 now. Outside for ball, 2-2 now to Chirinos. Foul back. It remains 2-2. Well, obviously, Pete Buchanan, his decision to bring in Joely Rodriguez, 2 outs in the 5th inning. You know, it didn't work today. When he did it, it certainly made sense by the numbers, as that one is sent to right field. Going back on it is Aaron Altherr, and he reaches up and makes the catch. So Chirinos hit it well, but it's the 2nd out of the inning.
Amazing how the ball carries through. Yeah. It's just amazing, especially to right field.
Yeah, it's really incredible.
It's always been like that.
So that'll bring up Rougned Odor with 2 outs in the 6th. Runner on first. He was 1 for 3 today. First pitch over for a strike. It's 0-1. These Rangers are red hot. We told you they are a perfect 7-0 on this homestand that they've had. The only other undefeated homestand of 7+ games in Rangers history was back in 2005 when they went 8-0 on a homestand. They are looking to equal that today. They had the A's and the Padres in here before the Phillies were here. What's amazing is they have won those 8 games in a row, but they have only gained in that stretch in those 8 games only half a game on the Houston Astros.
That team is. Altuve last night had 4 extra base hits. He had 2 doubles and 2 triples.
They are playing near perfect baseball right now, are the Houston Astros. But the Rangers are doing what they have to do. Stay in the race. Obviously, the wild card is also in play very early in this season. A lot can happen, but As we've said, the Rangers expected to be in the postseason conversation, and they've put themselves right back in the postseason conversation after a very slow start in the month of April.
Once they get Beltre back, Gomez back.
Yeah, Beltre should be back very soon, probably within the next 2 weeks.
You get that left-hander back, number 35. What was his name?
Gomez?
Oh, Cole Hamels.
Oh, Cole Hamels.
So they get him back.
Yeah, I don't do numbers.
Think about how much they're missing him. I mean,
yeah, we got a chance to talk to Cole before game 1 of this series, and he said he's feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, it was unfortunate that he got hurt when he did. He was pitching well, and that certainly, you know, you look at Yu Darvish and then you put Cole Hamels in that number 2 starter's position right behind Yu Darvish. That is a serious 1-2 punch for any team.
He always pitches well.
Ground ball, right side. Freddie Galvis over there near the second base position, picks it up. 6-3 goes the put out, and that'll do it for the 6th inning. But the Phils let up a couple more, and it's 8-2 Rangers. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. And early on, it was the Phils. Maikel Franco has a sac fly and a solo home run. A pair of RBIs today. Nick Pivetta only went 4 2/3. Got that pitch count up there in a hurry. But of late, there you see it in the 5th and 6th innings. 5 runs and then 3 runs for the Rangers. And that's where we stand, as the Phils now trail at 8-2. Andres Blanco will step in. Martine Perez, well, he has been very good so far for the Rangers. Let's see if the Phillies can't muster some kind of offense against him, and that's a good start. Base hit to left field for Andres Blanco. And as you have often said, you don't have to get them all back at once.
No, you don't. Blanco with a good hard hit his last time up. Unfortunately, the Shields was there, but another good pass to the ball here, and gets a knock.
So he is a leadoff base runner. That'll bring up Ty Kelly. Checked into the game last inning defensively. This is his first at bat of the ball game. We're being told that Michael Saunders left the game not just to get off his feet, but he had left groin tightness.
I figured something was wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's not good for Saunders because he's been swinging the bat pretty well of late. We'll wait and see how serious that is, as that one sails outside for a ball. It's 1-1. Outside corner for a strike. 1-2 to Ty Kelly. Playing in his 50th career game is Ty Kelly. 1-2 pitch. Get upstairs. 2-2 now to Kelly. Blanco over there at first. He singled to lead off the inning. Rangers do have some action in their bullpen at this point.
They do carry 8 in their bullpen, so a lot of options.
2-2 pitch. Misses. 3-2 now to Ty Kelly. Base runners. What the Phils need as Maikel Franco waits on deck. Joaquin Benoit starting to get loose in the Phillies bullpen. Blanco has a big lead and Ty Kelly swings through that one. Strike 3. So that's the first out here in the 7th. Let's go back to July 23rd, 1991. I just told the story about well, Texas Rangers skipper Jeff Bannister. His only major league at bat. Right here, ground ball into the hole at shortstop. Never even leaves the infield. Safe at first. First major league hit. Only major league at bat.
Wow.
That is kind of cool. Now I made the reference that he was like the Moonlight Graham.
Right.
You know, and you understand that. But on Twitter, Chris McCabe on Twitter did rightly correct me because Moonlight Graham hit a sac fly in that game. So
yes,
technically no at bats for Moonlight Graham. So I accept that, and
that was a heck of a play by Jeff Blauser in the hole, wasn't it?
It really was. Still a very cool story. So Moonlight Graham-ish is what I'm going to say. As Franco takes a big swing at that one and fouls it out of play.
Moonlight Graham.
The count is 0-2 to Maikel Franco. And he swings at that one, hits it to right field. It's well hit as well. Going back on it, though, is Mazzara, and he's able to make the catch at the track. So Franco's hitting another one to the warning track here, but
he made a lot of progress with these 3 at bats today.
I guess you'll take that if you're Matt Stairs and the Phils coaching staff.
I'm seeing a building block to work with. Really am.
That'll bring up Andrew Knapp with 2 outs. Blanco leads off first. First pitch to Knapp. Fouls it back. It's 0-1. The 1 pitch. Over for a strike. 0-2. Perez trying to get through his 7th inning of work. The 0-2 pitch in the dirt. And Blanco is going to advance to second to throw down there, not in time. Nice play by Odor to pull that throw down. Kind of a delayed steal by Andres Blanco.
Good recognition of the ball in the dirt. That very awkward slide there by Andres. Hope he's okay, but he hit that bag hard.
It looked to me like he thought there wasn't going to be a throw, and then all of a sudden he realized, uh-oh, the throw's coming, and it's going to be a little closer than I thought. Take another look, but you'll see the ball in the dirt, and he says, all right, I'm going to go, and then he says, oh boy. Safe at second.
Never seen a guy slide and end up sitting on top of the bag. Look at that.
Whatever works. So he's down there at second base with the count 1-2 to Andrew Knapp. The 101st pitch of the afternoon for Martine Perez is in the dirt as well. The count is even 2-2. Well, base hit would most likely score a run here for the Phils. And they need a bunch of them. 2-2 pitch. They're gonna miss, and he got it. So Andrew Knapp goes down swinging, and Blanco is stranded at second base. Martine Perez is through 7 innings, and he and the Rangers have an 8-2 lead. Two Rangers over the Phillies. Time for our unlimited baseball break presented by T-Mobile. And the Detroit Tigers will be without Victor Martinez at least for a couple days through the weekend as he heads out on paternity leave. As the players in Major League Baseball out a couple of days after the birth of a newborn child. So congratulations to Victor Martinez. And wow, what news out of Atlanta last night. Freddie Freeman, who was having a monster season, an MVP kind of season, hit by a pitch last night. Expected to miss 10 weeks with a fracture to his wrist.
Horrible.
Yeah, and the the situation surrounding it, it just tempers were running a little high in that game, and you see a pitch get thrown inside like that to a player like Freddie Freeman, and he knew it right away. He got hit and he walked right off the field.
Horrible.
It's a shame to see. You don't want to see that with anybody.
But the way these things are escalating, especially between the Braves and the Blue Jays, it got to a whole new level last night. Now you have the best first baseman in all of baseball out 10 weeks.
Yeah, it's a shame for sure, and certainly a shame for the Braves, who are actually playing pretty good baseball of late. They moved into second place in the NL East.
Because Freddie Freeman is a guy that you literally buy tickets to go see.
Yeah, agreed. Sure would like him on your team for many, many different reasons. Well, the batter is Ryan Rua here in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Rangers. The new pitcher for the Phillies is Joaquin Benoit. Rua was the one that really had the big shot back in the 5th inning, a 3-run home run off of Joely Rodriguez that put the Rangers out in front, and they haven't looked back since. And it is now 3-0 to Rua. Well, every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Rangers did go down 1-2-3 back in the second inning. That's been it. A lot of base runners, walks and hits for the Rangers. 9 hits for them, 6 walks. And swinging through that pitch is Ryan Rua. Count is now 3-2. Hasn't been a whole lot to cheer about for Phillies fans here in Texas. 3-2 pitch. Foul back. Remains 3-2.
The Rangers with 2 more cracks out. They get 6 outs to work with. 17 hits last night, 9 already today, and that's 26 hits in the last 2 nights. That's just obviously way too many.
3-2 pitch. Way upstairs. And he walks him. So Ryan Rua is a leadoff base runner, courtesy of the walk. And we'll bring up Joey Gallo.
Third baseman, Joey Gallo.
Mark Leiter starting to get loose in the Phillies bullpen. He pitched in the first game of this series. Joey Gallo 0 for 2 today. He walked. He struck out twice. He swings through that one. 0-1 now to Gallo. Phillies with a tight shift on Gallo. Even Blanco, the third baseman, playing to the right of where the shortstop normally would play. It's just amazing that they're willing to give up that much ground, and a guy like Gallo doesn't want to take advantage of it. Over for a strike. It's 0-2. Joey Gallo. I know we talk about it all the time, Ben, but don't you have to at least think about it if you're Gallo?
Oh, without a doubt, but it's 8-2. You're not going to drop one down here.
True.
But it does look appetizing.
And swing and a miss, so he got him. Gallo strikes out for the 3rd time this afternoon, and that's the first out here in the bottom of the 7th. Well, Monday, May 22nd, it's 7:05. Rockies are coming to town, and the Phillies will hand out their tech kit. Fans 15 and over. All kinds of gadgets for your particular gadget, your phone, your iPhone, or your Android device. Tuesday, May 23rd at 7:05. Wednesday, May 24th at 7:05. It's Teva Respiratory Night. Phillies cap handed out to all fans. Then on Thursday, May 25th at 1:05, a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. Senior stroll the bases after that game. Fans 55 and over, a chance to get down on the field and walk around the bases. Pop up the shortstop. Freddie Galvis makes the catch. Visit Phillies.com for more information or to order your tickets. 2 outs now here in the 7th. Not a whole lot of relief in sight when you look at the schedule. Colorado Rockies playing some pretty good baseball as well. One of the more surprising teams, I would say, in baseball right now.
We're doing with the normal bats of Cargo, Arenado, LeMahieu, but getting some very good pitching by some youngsters out there.
Yeah. Delino DeShields takes that first pitch from Benoit outside for a ball. It's 1-0. 0 for 3 is DeShields. On the outside corner for a strike. It's 1-1. Phillies couldn't get DeShields out last night. It's 4 for 4. One's over as well. So 1-2 now to Delino DeShields. Brewer leads off first. He walked to lead off the inning with 2 quick outs. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he got him. So DeShields is a strikeout victim for the 3rd time as well this afternoon, and the Phils get through the 7th inning unscathed. We will head to the 8th. Phils with 2 more chances. They trail it by 6. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, an ice cold delicious soft drink is only $1. I'm loving it. 8-2, the Rangers on top here in the top of the 8th inning. 2 more chances for the Phils. There was a little good defense early on in this game, though. Ben.
Yes, there was. Andres Blanco playing pretty much straightaway shortstop, running all the way over and making a heck of a catch. Beautiful play there by Andres Blanco to get over there and off the bat of Ruknet Odor. That is your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. Boy, you had a long way to go for that.
It sure did. Able to track it down. A new pitcher for the Rangers as Martine Perez's day is done. He was very effective. Alex Claudio, who we saw in game number 1 of this series, the left-hander, is in for his 17th game this year. 2.45 ERA. He was good the other night against this Phil's defense, and he fools Freddie there. He loses the bat. Swings through that one. It's 0-2 to Freddie Galvis. Gather up his weapon. Buddy Cesar Hernandez, who waits on deck. Galvis's afternoon, just 0 for 2. Lined out to shortstop his last at bat. He reaches out, fouls that one at the plate. He remains 0-2 to Freddie Galvis.
Alex Claudio, not a too good a fastball. It sits about 86. Change, slurve. Oh,
but a glove.
Definitely would have gone up the middle for Freddie.
Instead, it's 1-3 for the first out of the inning. As Claudio reaches down, able to gobble that one up. It was hard hit by Freddie Galvis.
Yes, it was. You can see Freddie's frustration. Oh, middle of that diamond, wide open. He hits it right into his glove. Claudio loves that changeup. It's slow. Sometimes it'll get in the low or the high 60s.
Well, Cesar Hernandez is next to face Claudio. 0 for 3 on the afternoon. is the Phil's leadoff hitter, and he swings through that one. 0-1 to Cesar Hernandez. Freddie's still frustrated.
Well, he should be.
Yeah.
Had a ball his last time up. As you mentioned, lined out to Elvis Andrus at shortstop.
I would imagine he's frustrated from that at bat, but just frustrated in general, as I would think 25 plus in that Phillies clubhouse feel the same way over the last couple of weeks. This month of May has not been kind to the Phillies. Cesar Hernandez swings through that, and that's the second out of the inning. And unfortunately, I don't think you can point to just one thing that has gone wrong in the month of May. It's been a little bit of everything. They have not gotten good starting pitching. They haven't had effective pitching out of the bullpen. The offense has run pretty much cold. Tommy Joseph has heated up. Aaron Altair has stayed pretty good, but other than that, clutch hitting hasn't been there like it was in April.
Inconsistent.
Yeah. So that'll bring up Odubel Herrera. He is 0 for 3 today. Fouls that one at the plate. A couple of strikeouts for Odubel today.
Martine Perez, I told you I liked him a lot. 7 innings pitched, just the 5 hits, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, and 0 walks.
0 walks.
0.
A little bit low for a ball, 1-1. As opposed to 6 for the Phils.
7.
7 now, yeah. Claudio has his sign. Left-hander working from the stretch. Pitch served down the left field line and fouled. It's 1-2 now to Odubel Herrera. Herrera batting just .243 on the season, which is, you know, unlike him in the year and a half that we've gotten a chance to watch Odubel Herrera. He is a streaky guy, but his streaks never seem to last too long. This one has been prolonged. You know, Pete Mackanin often says that guys like Odubel Herrera will eventually get back to where they are, around 285, you know, 280 to 290 kind of guys. And he expects that to happen from Odubel Herrera. And I would too, but it's been.
You wonder the way it's going, though, if Pete has considered moving him down in the lineup.
Yeah.
Been in the 3-hole predominantly the whole season.
Yeah.
Now he's bumped up to the 2-hole.
But that was more about Aaron Altair than anything else. Well, if Maikel Franco starts to swing the bat better, you would think that Franco would then find himself right back up in that area, 3, 4, 5 area. Perhaps that's an opportunity to move Odubel down. The wind starts to blow, and timeout is called by Odubel Herrera. Howie Kendrick, when he comes back, I mean, found himself in the 2-hole often when he was healthy in April, and Odubel just reaches at that one and swings through it. And he is a strikeout victim once again. Well, it remains to be seen what Pete Mackanin will do as he gets a couple of his pieces back. As for today, we head to the bottom of the 8th. Phil's down 6. One more interleague play for the Phils on the way. This time in June, Wednesday, June 14th and Thursday, June 15th. Both games at 7:05 when the Boston Red Sox come to town. Part of the 2-2 series. The Phils will travel to Boston first, play 2 games up there, and then back to Philadelphia on the 14th and the 15th. Plan ahead, those games are popular in the summer. Visit Phillies.com for more information or to order your tickets. Bottom of the 8th, and it's the top of the order for the Rangers. 1-2-3, Shin-Soo Choo, Elvis Andrus, and Nomar Mazara face Mark Leiter, pitching in his second game in this series. Pitch to Choo is over the inside corner for a strike. Choo 1 for 2 today. And slow breaking ball finds the inside corner for a strike. 1 and 2. There you see Leiter's numbers. Game number 6 for him.
Give up that 0-2 home run to Napoli the other night. Going to get back in the right frame of mind. He's throwing the ball okay. It just seems like when he makes a mistake, the other hitters, they take advantage of it. They really do.
2-2 pitch, ground ball. Cesar Hernandez. 1 out here in the 8th. Yeah, it doesn't have overpowering stuff, obviously, so relies on his command and on changing speeds if he does leave one up.
I like that big curveball he just threw Choo. I've seen too many of those. I think that's more of a show me pitch for Mark.
Well, that is a ground ball to the left side. Blanco back up on it and goes across the diamond for the second out of the inning. 5-3 goes to the putout. Well, following this game, of course, Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies post-game live. Michael Barkan and Ricky Metallico standing by on day duty to talk about this one, put a wrap on it, to show you the highlights and break it down, the good, the bad, and the Rangers' 5th inning and how they were able to turn this one around on a dime. And well, they're looking for their homestand sweep, and the Phils are just trying to right the ship out on this road trip. Things have not been going well. But Michael Barkan and Ricky Metallico will break it all down on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies postgame live. You'll be there, right, Ben?
Be there to start the show.
Figured. Jeremy Jeffress warming up for the Rangers. Big swing and a miss for Nomar Mazara. Count is 2-1 now to him with 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Good change up there by Mark Leiter Jr.
Two 2-1 pitch on the outside corner for the strike. 2-2.
There's absolutely nothing you can do with that pitch. Nothing.
Swing and a miss, and he got him. So a 1-2-3 inning for Mark Leiter. Good to see out of the Phillies bullpen. One last chance for the Phils, and they need to get the offense going. They need 6 to keep this one going. It's 8-2. For the Rangers, 2 runs, 5 hits for the Phillies. Phil's one last chance. Time now for our WB Mason deliveries of the game.
Oh, Ryan Rua here in the 5th inning. Off Joel Rodriguez, first pitch fastball hunting. First pitch fastball receiving. 3-run homer to right field. Ryan Rua in there to take the place of Mike Napoli. He goes out for the WB Mason delivery of the game.
Well, Jeremy Jeffress is the new pitcher for the Rangers. 21 games this season. 1-2. 4.32 ERA. 16 2/3 innings of work.
Bit of a disappointment for the Rangers this season. He's a hard-throwing righty they got from Milwaukee. He'll sit at about 94 miles an hour. Might bump it up a little bit. Big curveball and a change. But relies heavily on that fastball.
Well, he'll face the heart of the order for the Phillies. Aaron Altherr, Tommy Joseph, and Andres Blanco 3, 4, 5 today. Altherr 1 for 3. Takes that one upstairs for a ball. It's 1-0. Ground ball to the left side, and that sneaks through for a base hit. So Aaron Altherr is a leadoff base runner here in the 9th, his 2nd hit of the afternoon. And that'll bring up Tommy Joseph. Well, we mentioned after Texas, 3 more days on this road trip for the Phillies. Here are the pitching matchups for Phils and Pirates. Jeremy Hellickson tomorrow. Take the ball. Trevor Williams. It'll be Vince Velasquez on Saturday. That's a 4 o'clock game Eastern time versus Nova. Sunday, Aaron Nola returns to the Phils rotation versus Chad Kuhl in that one. So that is a day game as well, as that one is drilled by Tommy Joseph into the gap and over the wall. That ball is gone. A 2-run shot for Tommy Joseph, swinging at the first pitch off of Jeffress. And that is his 6th home run of the year. And the Phils trail it now 8-4 here in the 9th.
First pitch fastball hunting. Just like Ryan Rua we just talked about. Tommy Joseph goes up top to right center. Ball taking off. That extends his 6-game hitting streak into 7 games for Tommy Joseph. Quick bat. Short swing.
Yeah.
Very short swing.
So Doug Brocail is going to come out and have a quick conversation with Jeremy Jeffress. He's still got a 4-run lead. And that's sure, I'm sure that is the message from the Rangers pitching coach. But hey, another couple base runners on, force them to go to that man, Matt Bush, their closer. Brocail buying a little time as well, just in case. So Andres Blanco will be the batter. He's 1 for 3 today. Singled in his last at bat in the 7th inning. We've seen comebacks before. Big Ben, right? Why not us?
Why not?
First pitch to Blanco's outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Ty Kelly's on deck. You see Blanco's numbers, and that pitch outside as well. 2-0 to Andres Blanco. Pitch, big swing and a miss. It's 2-1. Jeffress has his sign from the belt. The 2-1 pitch inside and almost hit Andres Blanco. 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Whew. How did he get out of the way?
I don't know. I would have left a nice bullseye on the back of that hamstring.
3-1 pitch. Swung on. Line drive center field. That's not deep. Hoying is there, and he'll make the catch. So Jeffress able to recover and get the first out of the inning. Fly ball to center field, and that'll bring up Ty Kelly.
Always amazed me when he did get hit in the thigh like that, how many different colors it would turn. It's like, you know, that color existed.
And the stitches that you could see.
Just stay there forever.
Yeah, I don't miss that from Little League. Kelly steps in, first pitch swinging, hits that well down the left field line. On the run is DeShields, and he slides, and he can't make the catch. Ty Kelly is going to cruise into second. DeShields touched that in fair territory, so that'll be a double for Ty Kelly. In and out of the glove of DeShields.
Ball was really driven here by Ty Kelly. Yeah, it just comes right on out. And the ground did not cause the fumble, did it, Murph?
It did not. Now, that was obviously in slow-mo, but he had that in his glove there for a bit.
He had a play last night. He came in running in and made a sliding catch, and the ball kind of snow-coned out of it.
Look, it's in his glove, and now it's out of his glove.
I want to tighten up the laces on that glove.
That is a glove issue more than anything else right
like
there.
Like a salmon swimming upstream, didn't it? Just a
little bit. And so that is going to end the afternoon for Jeremy Jeffress. Shields cannot believe he did not hold on to that ball. He made that catch. He should be looking down at his glove more than anything else. But Ty Kelly will take it. He is safe at second. And scored a double. We're going to have a pitching change here in Arlington with Maikel Franco coming up. We'll be right back. Family packs. The $100 package includes 4 tickets, 4 half-field hot dogs, and 4 Coca-Colas. They're available for select weekend dates throughout this season. They're great value for families. The family packs. Visit Phillies.com for more information and to order. It's a pretty good deal. Well, Matt Bush has been called upon to finish out this game for the Texas Rangers with Ty Kelly down there at second base and only 1 out. Bush will come in. He is the closer for the Rangers. Maikel Franco has had 3 good at-bats today. Will be the first to face him. Franco with a pair of RBIs. He has the solo home run. That was back in the 5th inning, and then he also has the sac fly early in the game, back in the 2nd. He's hit 2 balls to the warning track today. And he swings at that and fouls it straight back. So it's 1-1 to Maikel Franco. Phil still need a couple more.
Yeah.
You know, cut the lead to 4. Just get the tying run to the plate. Give yourself a chance. Bush has his sign, working from the stretch. 1-1 pitch. A little bit low for a ball. 2-1.
Matt Bush, quite a story.
Ooh. He certainly is.
What a background.
He's battled addiction for many, many years. Was out of baseball. Very, very high pick. #1 pick, if I'm not mistaken, right?
#1 overall by the Padres.
That one is outside for ball. 3-1. But really kind of derailed by his addiction.
Yeah.
But here he is back and pitching at a very high level for the Rangers. So it's good to see.
He's incarcerated, and amazing how he ended up getting to the Rangers.
3-1 pitch. Ground ball to the right side. It's gloved by the first baseman Rua and flipped over to Bush for the second out of the inning. His bat exploded and ended up near the pitcher's mound. So the runner Ty Kelly moves over to third, but that is the second out. And the Rangers will make that deal every single time.
Back in 2015, Bush signed a minor league contract 2 months after his release from prison. And he was signed after tryouts at a Golden Corral parking lot in Jacksonville, Florida. It was the only place Bush could work out due to his post-release restrictions. He could only travel to and from his Golden Corral job.
Wow. Well, the Phillies are down to their final out. And Andrew Knapp will be the batter. And he swings and fouls that one out of play. The 0-1 to Andrew Knapp. Just to put a bow tie on the Matt Bush story. He was incarcerated for several different reasons. Some acts of violence, some domestic violence issues. And I think I saw an interview where he said, look, I deserved every punishment that came my way. It does seem like he has his life back on track, which is certainly always a good thing. Well, the count is 1-1 to Andrew Knapp with 2 outs. And he swings and fouls that one down the left field line, out of play. So now 1-2 to Knapp. With Ty Kelly over there at third. Not a whole lot of fans left here at Globe Life Park. But the ones that are have gotten to their feet. They're sensing a perfect homestand for the Rangers. One-two pitch. Line drive towards the shortstop. One hop. Andrews up. Fires across the diamond. And that is indeed the final out. And it is indeed a perfect homestand for the Rangers, who have now won 9 in a row. 8-0 on this homestand. And they have swept out the Phillies in this one. Rangers now 6-1 versus the National League this year as well. Ryan Rua is the Chevrolet player of the game, 2 for 2 with the 3-run home run that really turned things around for the Rangers back there in the 5th inning. They never looked back after that. Matt Bush closes it out for the Rangers. And Texas, well, Texas is red hot, as it often is, but the Texas Rangers are red hot as well. They win at 8-4. We'll be back to put a wrap on this one. Stay with us.